Hello, everyone, and welcome to another weekly dose of Warera. This week we've had a lot happening. All the drama that has been brewing within Portugal's Discord server and in game dedicated chat has come out. I'm sure there were some leaks. I'm sure some people already knew about certain details. Let's just get right into it. Um, for starters, let's talk about the way things progressed. Antichrist Jesus was about to give up his spot as president, not literally give up, but in the sense that he wasn't going to run again. Gigameister was going to follow up as the current VP. Gigameister is the objectively best person to follow up on the position. He's the one that's more of an insider on things that are currently happening, and it would just make logical sense. However, a lot of fame is attached to Gigameister, let's call it that. Both international allies and enemies have certain things to say about Gigameister, some good ones, some bad ones. However, from my point of view, and remember that this is how the whole video is going to go, I think that there was a loud minority making their opinions heard. Not everyone wanted Jägermeister in power. Specifically, the Portuguese opposition, which we will talk a little bit more about in a second, and some international enemies, obviously. The Portuguese opposition was very active, let's say. A lot of leaks, a lot of actual treason, and we have a lot of smear articles. However, we are going to leave those for a little bit later and get back to the story. So, Gigameister was about to be elected. However, not everyone was happy about it. The Portuguese opposition made their voices heard quite loudly, and a lot of drama was ensuing in the Portuguese Discord, as I'm sure a lot of you already know. From my point of view, the opposition limited itself, specifically Mike and Uguinho. They limited themselves to pop in a few times a day, write a few replies to some mentions, insult Giga and his positions, and disappear. And that was basically it. Uh, Obviously, they didn't do that every day. I know that they did stay to argue for quite a few days, but again, from what I saw and what I read, it was just constant denial. There wasn't any productive opposition. It was just, yeah, you're wrong. This idea sucks, and then nothing else for the rest of the hours that they would occasionally spend insulting and replying over and over again with the same thing, constantly claiming that Gigameister threw the French under the bus when we've seen evidence of that not being the case, and constantly talking bad about the fact that we didn't accept the alliance with Spain. Now, Spanish IRL, but in game, you guys fucked up. As soon as the islands came in, you started attacking us. As soon as we gained back some of our own land without ever attacking any of yours, you started trying to take it back with the help of Chill and some other Latam giants. And then you completely wiped us out of the map and bought back some of the land from Chill for 1 coin. Like, how are we supposed to not, get mad at this? Obviously, Spain had all of Portugal for quite a while now, and a lot of the players, myself included, joined the game just to beat the Spanish, honestly. Like, get our lands back. So when our VP gets offered a deal to sign a non-aggression pact from a country that at the time, while we were still active and actively planning on wars and keeping the players sort of entertained, if Giga as our VP gets a proposal from Spain to sign a non-aggression pact and get all of our lands back, and he replies with, we don't negotiate with occupiers, no negotiation will take place until all of our land is returned unconditionally. Honestly, this to me is a completely fair take. If they want to negotiate with what at the time was the biggest up and coming nation, then they have to show some good faith and take the first step. We're not the ones that stand to gain from this, they are. Now, obviously, a lot of people didn't want this. The opposition kept saying that this is wrong, we should accept this deal. Now, this doesn't make any sense at all to me. Like, why would you ever want to accept a deal with such a small country who is apparently losing Latam's support and becoming a minority, so to speak, while we could just easily follow the purpose of the game, get into a war with them, and win? So the Congress elections passed, the presidential elections passed. Giga won with a 70 to 20 vote ratio, and the opposition wasn't happy. Things went kind of smoothly for a few days, but then the opposition kept getting mad. A few of the congressmen were having talks with Spain behind the president's back, and believe whatever you want to believe and have whatever opinion you want to have, but a congressman cannot represent the country. You were not voted to represent the country. Therefore, you cannot engage in any sort of negotiation, especially with an enemy nation, whilst trying to represent Portugal. This just does not make any sense. Because of this, a lot of more drama ensued. Obviously, Jägermeister got mad, and things got a little more serious. Personally, I more or less at this point, actually a little bit before, I started telling him, hey, if they make any sort of deal, or if any sort of deal passes with Spain, I will leave the country or the game. I'm done. And I assume a lot of people had the same idea. All of this drama and all of this bubbling led to what I assume is one of the first, maybe the second, impeachment in the game. It was sudden. I don't think I was even online on that day. And all of a sudden, we had no president, and they had no plan. And they obviously had no plan since the leaders, Mike and Uini, of the opposition didn't even run for president on the following election. And now we see that about a week later, or a few days later, they keep losing active players. They keep going into talks. They keep getting slandered by other members of Congress, and people are just generally not happy with the way things are going. I mean, they haven't entered any wars. They haven't really done anything besides going full econ, which to me is just like a clicker game. Like, what's the point of this game if it's just going to be a clicker game? There needs to be negotiation, there needs to be war, there need to be things that are done for the game to keep being interesting. We interrupt this absolute rant for some breaking news. A potential act of betrayal inside Portugal's political scene. Earlier today, leaks revealed secret conversations between the former Portuguese president and a mysterious Discord user known only as Bricht. Bricht seems to be trying and failing to negotiate a spy swap with Jägermeister. The evidence provided? Here, have a screenshot of me telling someone else that we have a spy on you. I wouldn't believe that. Bricht has no known Warera account, but he's been extremely active on the official server, mostly attacking Portugal's former leadership, spreading misinformation, and stirring drama about Timor, the current country of most of the ex-Portuguese citizens. The leaks suggest a link between Bricht and Spain, including a talk of propaganda articles under the banner Iberian Brothers, coordinated smear campaigns, and even attempts to lure Portuguese players away to Timor. And right on cue, those articles were published by Spanish players. Who was there supporting them in the comments? None other than Mike85, our lovely sort of leader of Portuguese ex-opposition of Jägermeister and a longtime ally of Uguinho. This raises a big question. Are we witnessing normal politics or outright betrayal? One thing's clear. At this moment, only one Portugal stands united and free. So now we're at a bit of a crossroads again. The opposition won, so to speak. They had a majority in Congress. They thought they were almighty. They went through elections again, and now they have nothing. They have no land. They have no allies. besides the ones that were negotiated beforehand. They have not entered in any sort of pacts that will benefit them, at least not any public ones, and they've become a bit of a laughing stock, at least for the people who exile themselves to Timor. This exile, I had been suggesting this for a while. I play this for fun. I interact with people because it's fun. I do not get online every single day to have to deal with this insanity, like constantly getting into silly arguments over nothing, constantly just hearing back, oh, but no, no, it's not, no, it's not. Every single day. It is exhausting. I have been extremely busy, as I have told you guys before, uh, and having to sit down, relax a little bit, but instead having to deal with babies or people who have the mentality of a baby every single day. How would you ever stay active? How would people that joined the game during the baby booms ever stay active when all they see when they join Discord is a wall of text of people trying to insult each other and dox each other? Because yes, that did happen, and yes, it is a crime. Now, let's talk about our next segment, the shitty articles. Here we have an amazing piece from Morning Mail, which is a Portuguese news station that's known to have a lot of scandals, calling Gigameister a dictator, attacks democracy, and runs away. Like it's such a silly little pointless thing. This is exactly what happened while we were still in Portugal. Just zero arguments, insults, and nothing. After a number of bad choices, the former Portuguese president runs away. Where are the bad choices? Like, what happened? Tell us. Like, we want to know. On this beautiful article from the current Portuguese president, Gigameister is compared to Salazar, which is, or was, a Portuguese dictator. Before 1974, he ruled Portugal with a bit of an iron fist and a blue pencil, which is what they used to censor things, be it letters, news articles, anything. And Gigameister is being compared to this. Again, alluding to the constant claim of censorship when there was not ever one case of censorship. We have asked for evidence countless times, and zero have been provided. Personally, as the owner of the Discord server and as the head mod, I guess, I would have banned them a while ago. This is, by the way, one of their claims. They keep complaining that half the Congress was banned. Like, the constant amount of insults with absolutely zero productive value, the docs situation that happened, the constant attempts to disrupt the functions of the Congress channels and the general channels with just absolute brain diarrhea was insane. So, again, I'm biased, but I'm completely behind him 100%. As a bit of a final touch, having the president of a country come out and just trying to slander the previous president is just a bit silly and counterproductive, in my opinion. It kind of just shows how low you are. However, not everything's bad, luckily. There are some reasonable and honestly quite enjoyable articles to read. Now, my favorite piece was this one. Hypocrisy is running absolutely rampant. When I get into the game after a whole day, it's just honestly quite refreshing to be able to just get onto the game and see this. Now, one of the biggest arguments, to give you guys some context, of the opposition in Portugal was that Jesus, Antichrist Jesus, our previous Portuguese president, could not be the leader of the Portuguese military unit. Now, why is that, you might ask? Well, their argument was that Jesus was, at the time, a congressman. Now, according to them, the military unit should be independent, meaning there should be no political power influencing the activities of the military unit, which honestly is kind of reasonable. It's their most reasonable argument so far. Personally, I think it's kind of silly since we are in a war game, and at least in Portuguese politics, the president, not the president, we have the prime minister, which is kind of above the president, let's say, Let's simplify it like that. The president, during times of war, becomes the head of the military. And this is a war game, last time I checked. So, what exactly is the issue with having political power mixed with military power? It's literally the purpose of the game. Jesus couldn't be the head of the military unit, but Jackal, however, worry not. He can be the head of the military unit. Do you guys want to know why? Well, obviously because he's both a Congress member and the vice president. Now, that makes a difference. So the reason why Jesus couldn't be the head of the military unit wasn't because he was a congressman, guys. You just don't get it. It's because he wasn't the vice president. Right. That's how that works. Okay. And luckily, another beautiful article, honestly. Not beautiful, it's sad. But another beautiful article about a player that I think is kind of representative of the average player, let's say. He's a member of the Portuguese Congress at the moment, and he's sad. So would I be. He lives in a country that has a new president. They managed to overthrow the evil, bad previous president, claiming that he was just negotiating. We still have no land in Portugal. What's happening? Why aren't we doing anything? Why aren't we fighting? Why aren't we making alliances? Why aren't we talking with more countries? Well, they overthrew the president. They took over the political power. And where are we now? Nowhere. Portugal is still not on the map. Everything is gone. But anyways, let's move on to some more lighthearted things, some more nice things about what I honestly quite love about Warera, which are random articles about something else. Which is, are you a true femboy enjoyer or a faker? Now this is the type of question I ask myself when I go to sleep. This is what I pay for, man. I mean, I don't pay for it. The game's free. But this is amazing. This is some good quality article. And honestly, I love it. On a final note, some questionable drama. Sweden announced the Transoceanic Defense Pact. Now, what is this Defense Pact, you might ask? Well, it's a pact that unites Sweden, France, the US, and Malaysia under a quote-unquote shared vision of security, cooperation, and peace. All right, so in this lovely war game, we have Sweden betraying the Europeans once again. Honestly, I'm here for it. Let's see where this goes. This has been a bit of a, again, low effort video. I'm really sorry. I know I'm lacking. I know you guys are mad. I know you want some more high quality, very well prepared meme videos, and I will be doing that. I will be giving you gameplay in the background. I will be giving you all of this. However, I'm almost done moving into the new place. I literally just got some new cables today so that I can actually finish installing my PC. Things are going to be absolutely magnificent. In case you guys didn't notice, which you probably did, I'm actually recording in the new location already. It's amazing. It's honestly amazing. I'm sorry for breaking the fourth wall a little bit again, but it's great. It feels great, but it was draining. It was I had to go through 2 weeks of basically constant heavy lifting and constant organizing, constant packing and unpacking. It was a pain, and I'm so happy that you guys stuck with me. I love that you keep showing your support, and do not worry, I can absolutely promise you that next week we will have a fully structured, very well edited video. 100% worth it. Do not worry. So anyways, once again, thank you for the support. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and relax. Next week, I'll be back.